Good morning and welcome to this month's wellness class. Today we're going to be talking a lot about self-care. So before we get started, I'd just like to say a quick prayer over the class, and then we shall proceed from here. So Father, in the name of Jesus, I want to thank you for this day. This is the day that you have made. We are glad and rejoice in it. Father, I pray that you will put your words into my mouth, that even as I teach about wellness and self-care, Lord, I will teach what you want me to teach. May these words go forth and activate and empower all of those who are here and those who will watch on the replay to take their wellness with a lot more intentionality and to treat and steward our bodies and our health well for your glory. Father, we commit the class into your hands all the time that we have together, the questions, the feedback, the content. We commit it into your hands and we thank you for an opportunity to gather here this morning. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. For today, we're going to talk about self-care with essential oils. So I'm talking about actually three of my favorite topics: self-care, we're talking about wellness, and we're talking about essential oils. And so I'm excited to present this master class, this wellness class to you today, merging all three topics. So who am I and why should you be listening to me anyway? My name is Bri Orata. I've been using essential oils for about 13 years because I first started using oils in 2010, but more specifically, I've been using doTERRA essential oils since 2015. So this is my 8th year using doTERRA essential oils, and I love educating people how to use essential oils as a wellness tool every day safely and effectively. I'm doing for 2023 is doing a series of wellness classes, essential oil wellness classes over the course of the year, and I'm going to be covering various topics. And so if you haven't already watched the first class, because everything I'll be doing will be building on previous classes, you can check out those classes on YouTube and on Facebook at Wellness with Bri. At YouTube, it's at Bri Orata, and the introductory class was Building Wellness Habits with Essential Oils for 2023 and beyond. So my intention is to empower you on how you can use essential oils for different aspects of your wellness. And that's what we're going to be covering in the course of the year. Different classes showing you how to use essential oils for physical wellness, for emotional wellness, for environmental wellness, for social wellness as we go along. Okay, and so there's so much more to essential oils and how you can use them to support your wellness. And so by doing these classes, I want to empower you with knowledge so that you can understand and know that essential oils are more than a pretty scent. Okay, so before we go very far, I want to issue a disclaimer that this is an informational webinar. It's not intended to replace proper medical advice. And then this wellness classes are specific to doTERRA essential oils because that is what I'm using, that is what I know, that is what I am comfortable with. So you're encouraged to make your healthcare decisions in partnership with a qualified practitioner, as well as carrying out your diligent research. So what I'm doing here is just giving you information that should support you should you decide to go ahead with using essential oils in wellness on how to go about it. All right, so what are we going to talk about in this class today? We're going to talk about a simple framework for self-care with essential oils. We're going to talk about practical ideas for self-care with essential oils. And then I'm also going to share doTERRA user's experience, and that today's guest would be Dr. Norita. She's not able to be with us physically, but she sent in a video message, which I'm going to play later on. Okay, so one of the first things that we really need to understand, even before we go far, is exactly what is self-care. And there's been a lot of talk about self-care in recent years. And for me, it's simply just intentionally taking care of yourself. The totality of yourself, taking care of your body, taking care of your emotions, taking care of your thoughts, taking care of your environment. It's just being intentional about how you take care of yourself. And the analogy that I came up with was, you know how we all have homes, and it is our intention to create a sanctuary that we can enjoy, that we can relax, that we can rest in, that we can be comfortable in. It's the same thing with your body. Your body is your home. And so you want to take actions, intentional actions that will make living in your body a comfortable and an enjoyable experience, making your body a sanctuary, if you may. And if you check out the first class that we did on building wellness habits, we really went down into what wellness is. We talked about what habits are, and then we talked about just creating intentional wellness habits. And we even took a look at the wellness pyramid. Okay, and so now the question then becomes, all right, so if self-care is taking intentional care of yourself, why should you use essential oils in self-care? One of the things also that I need to mention before I go really far is, I primarily speak to women and I speak to women's needs a lot, but men can also consume the content that I'm putting out. And the reason I speak to women is, one, obviously I'm a woman, but even more than that, women are the custodians of wellness in the home and in the community. And so because women are nurturers by nature, it is pretty much wired into our DNA to wellness is just a part of that. Wellness is a part of the responsibility that comes with being a nurturer. And so that is what this is about, teaching you how to nurture wellness in yourself and to nurture wellness in your communities and in your families and in your homes using essential oils as a tool. Why should we use essential oils? One of the things that's very clear is, your self-care needs will change and evolve as you go through different seasons, as you transition, as you go through various responsibilities. And one of the keys to sustainable self-care habits is to give yourself grace to change as you change. So self-care is not static. And so if you have 5 minutes for self-care, or if you have a whole day for self-care, you have to be able to adapt and fit in a self-care schedule that works in that way. And so one of the most important roles of essential oils in self-care is that it enables you to intentionally turn everyday moments into self-care opportunities. And this is actually the gift of using essential oils. So it turns what would have been an everyday, we have to shower every day, but how do you elevate showering so that it can turn into a self-care opportunity by adding essential oils, for example? And then essential oils help you enjoy life through your 5 senses. In other words, you get to live your life sensually. And I'm talking about sensuality in the sense of what you smell, what you feel, what you see, what you taste, and what you hear. That is the context in which I'm using sensuality here. And then it enables you to enjoy the versatile therapeutic uses of essential oils. So one of the things in the first class that I did was I really broke down why use essential oils, and versatility was meaning that essential oils have many uses around wellness. And therapeutic, and I found a definition that I really, really loved. Therapeutic is a beneficial effect on the body and mind. And so this is, again, a gift that lies in using essential oils. They're therapeutic, meaning they have a beneficial effect on your body, on your mind, and on your emotion. And then the last important reason is that you learn how to pay attention to and support your body's needs as it changes and evolves. And I'll give you an example. My self-care needs as a single woman living by myself were very different from my self-care needs as a mother right now to a toddler. Time was different, responsibilities were different, mental space was different, everything was different. And so in learning and identifying these various phases, I have learned how to pay attention and support my body as it has changed and evolved. And this is also one of the things that comes from using essential oils regularly. Okay, and so now we're going to talk about a self-care framework. And this, for me, is one of the most exciting things there is to learning how to use essential oils in your self-care. And I started teaching about this in 2019, I believe, and it has remained the same with a few additions. But this is it. essential oils are derived from plants, essential oils are derived from trees. So what you want to do is you want to see yourself as a tree. And if you've had me teach before, you've probably had me say that using essential oil is both a science and an art. And it's a science because essential oils have within them compounds that have been scientifically studied, which have been shown to have certain therapeutic effects on the body. And then using essential oils is an art because you learn about your body, you learn about your needs, you learn how to identify what oil to use when. And this is the art part of it. It comes from practice, it comes from observation, it comes from curiosity. And so this framework is a marriage of it perfectly sums up. It's a marriage of essential oils as a science and essential oils as an art. And so I invite you to just explore this with me, having the image of a tree or having the image of a plant in mind as we go through the next section, which is dissecting the self-care framework. All right, so when you think of a plant, what holds a plant down in the ground is the roots. And so there's some essential oils that are taken from the roots of plants. And so what characteristics do these oils have? These oils are woody, they smell earthy, they are warm, they are musky, and they have a tendency to be long lasting. So this is actually the base. This is actually roots are what holds the plant in place in the soil. And so when you look at it from the body's perspective, root oils are soothing to the body and emotions because they have that kind of grounding effect. They're very calming, they're very stable. That's the word, they're stabilizing oils. And so they're reassuring, they're grounding, they promote relaxation and a sense of calm to the body. And so how would you use this in the context of self-care? So root oils are neuroprotective, meaning they protect the nerves. They're sedative and calming, which means they are good for sleeping. They help you to relax and calm down. They're restorative and they're good for cellular and skin support. So how does this look like? What does this look like in practical terms? In practical terms, it means you add frankincense. I can diffuse frankincense before I go to bed or before I have a major exam to do, and I would feel a sense of calm. It means I can use vetiver in my bath, in the evening bath, and before I go to sleep, I would become calm and relaxed. It means I can add frankincense to my body lotion and I know it would support and restore my skin. Let me see what else I have. So root oils are deep. And they are, let me just note this word down here. They are deep and because they're the ones that are used to hold down a plant in the ground. And so they're good. It's good for skincare. It's good for diffusing. It's good for bath time. Okay, so as we move on up, when we look at a plant, so we've done the roots that hold the plant in place. And then we've got the tree. Now we've got the bark. We've got the trunk of the tree. We've got what we would call the stem of the plant. And so when you think of a stem, when you compare that to your body, and I've just got this thought that you see grounding oils because they deal with rooting down. So you can also apply oils on the bottom of your feet. That's also a very good place to apply oils because then they travel very quickly up through the rest of the body. So when you're looking at the bark or the trunk or the stem of a plant, you're thinking about the skeletal system, the muscular system in the human body. And tree oils are also deep. They are warm, they are earthy, they are mellow, and they are lingering scents, meaning they stay. So if you've ever walked to a place where there are trees and you actually just look at the trunk or at the stem, you just notice that they're responsible for giving the tree its posture. So in the human body, the equivalent would be the skeletal system. And so you use these oils when you want to feel a sense of support and anchoring. And so that would look in everyday self-care, that would look like use it during sleep, use it for relaxation, use it in skincare, and use it in exercise. So for example, cypress is a tree oil, and I personally love taking cypress and having it diffusing or just using it also before exercise. And so these oils are good to support the spine. You can easily put a few drops on your hand and kind of just rub it and massage it down your spine to give you, because it deals with support. So the word when you're thinking about tree and wood oils is support. Moving on to the leaves. Now we've dealt with the roots, we've dealt with the trunk and the stem. Now we move on to the leaves. And when you think about the role of a leaf in a plant, the role of a leaf in a plant is to help the plant breathe in transpiration. That's what it used to be called, yes. And also in making food, photosynthesis. And so leaf oils are strong, they're penetrating, they're camphoraceous, and they have an almost medicinal smell. But they're also refreshing, clarifying, and energizing, which helps enhance your focus. And so how would you use this? I would use leaf oils in trying to support respiratory wellness. I would use leaf oils in the shower. I'd use leaf oils at work when I'm trying to kind of focus. So yeah, they help you with, when I think of leaf oils, I think of anything to do with respiratory wellness, anything that needs to do with breathing. And what we're doing here is really understanding the equivalent of a plant in the human body and how essential oils derived from different parts of the plant would support our self-care. So now we are moving on to floral oils. When you think of a flower, the role of a flower in a plant is actually beauty. When you think of flowers, you think softness, you think romance, you think beauty, you think femininity, you think softness. So using a floral oil in your self-care routine is to help you nurture and take extra care of yourself. The word I think about when I think of floral oils is, pampering yourself, is being extra nice, is being soft and gentle with yourself. And so floral oils have been proven to be anti-inflammatory, regenerative, relaxant, and they have antiviral properties. So I would use essential oils in skincare, because they're very nurturing and they're very regenerative. And then because they're also very subtle and very delicate, you would use it to in a blend for sleeping, for example. So when you think of floral oils, you just kind of think of blooming, of blossoming, and you think of nurturing and taking care. And then if you want to infuse more beauty into your self-care routine, using floral oils would be a good idea. Then we move on to the spices. When you think of spices, even when you're cooking food, you add spice to add flavor. So if you need some flavor in your life or in your self-care routine, you go for a spice oil. So these are very warm, stimulating, and intense aromas. They're very sharp, they're very rousing, they're very crisp. If you even think about something like black pepper, when you eat black pepper in your food, you're almost like, it's really, really hot. And so you want to use spice oils in very limited amounts because they irritate the gentle mucous membrane. So you don't want to use a spice oil, for example, next to your lips or next to your nose unless you have diluted it properly. So when you need some passion, some excitement, or a gentle or a hot rev up, you use a spice oil. You also use a spice oil to stimulate digestion, as immune support. And these are things like ginger. So you know that if you have bloat, for example, you take some ginger tea because it's a very warming, it's a very stimulating spice. So in the same way, I would I wouldn't diffuse ginger per se, but I would add, like, for example, a drop of ginger into water, or put a drop and rub it on my tummy when I'm experiencing something like bloat. All right, let's move on to citrus oils. And when you think of citrus, you think of sunshine, you think of lightness, you think of playfulness, you think of joy. And that's exactly what citrus oils are. When you eat an orange, when you smell an orange, you can't help but smile. So citrus essential oils in a self-care routine would be useful to help you in the morning, or when you just need, you need that joy to come back when things are dull, when when things are dull, when you're feeling a little bit low, you get a citrus oil to kind of help you come back up. And scientifically, these oils contain a compound called limonene, which has been proven to be antiseptic, antioxidant, antimicrobial, which makes them very good for cleaning. There is a reason why dishwashing paste normally comes in lemon and in lime scent, because they know lemon and lime have been shown to be good for cleaning, and in addition to them just having a very good smell and making a whole space smell cheery, inspiring, and refreshing. All right. So are we clear at this particular point? Just to recap, we're looking at essential oils. I'm trying to create for you a framework on how to decide or how to learn how to use essential oils for yourself. And this framework draws both on science as well as art, using curiosity, observation, and just generally what the different parts represent. We've gone through the root, which is a stabilizing factor. We've gone through tree and bark oils, which deal with support the skeletal system. We've talked about the leaf, which helps with breathing and photosynthesis, and in our case, they help with respiratory wellness. We have talked about floral oils, whose work is mostly beauty and nurturing and taking care of yourself. We have talked about spice oils, which are to bring passion and flavor back to your life. We're now talking about citrus oils, which are good for uplifting and cleaning. So now let us move on to herbal oils. And when you think of herbs in real life, things like cilantro, like dhania, like basil, like marjoram, like thyme. The thing they have in common is that they smell green, like they just smell green. They smell like fresh leaves, they smell like grass, they smell like herbs. There's no other way to put it. And when you use herb oils, normally herbs are good for detox. Herbs are good for adding flavor and taste. Herbs are also good for immune support. So in the context of your body, I would use herbal oils for detoxification mostly. So I would do maybe a combination of a spice oil with an herbal oil, a citrus oil with an herbal oil, and these are just really good for detox and things to do with digestion and adding taste. And so the key difference, what really separates an herbal oil, whereas leaves can be taken from trees, herbal oils are distilled from the leafy green part of a shrub. So now we have finished the self-care framework. Now I just want to give you a few ideas for you to try, which won't interfere with your schedule. These are things you probably already do. What you're doing when you're using essential oils is to add the feeling of luxury, add the feeling of pampering into things that you're already doing. And so the first way is, everybody has to take a bath. So why not turn your bath experience into a luxurious moment for yourself? And there are different oils that you can use for this. So right here, I've got my little dry brush, and dry brushing is very good for exfoliating the skin. So what you can do to enhance that is use an oil like grapefruit, which has been known to help in detoxification of the body. And when you dry brush your skin every so often, you're sloughing off dead skin, but you're also encouraging lymphatic flow, the flow of lymphatic fluid in your body. So I would add a few drops of grapefruit onto the brush and just begin the whole process of dry brushing the body. You've got shower gel, and you can add essential oils that are skin loving. For example, I've put here, add geranium to your shower gel. On my Instagram page, I have a couple of DIYs. I showed how to make an easy shower gel using castile soap and essential oils, but you can also just use shower gel. If you do not have shower gel, you can take your face cloth or your washing cloth and just put a drop or two of essential oils and use that. You can have a massage. We have doTERRA has a blend called Aroma Touch. You can use that. You can add lavender to your face mask. You can also create a full body scrub with coffee, used coffee grounds, and then you add an essential oil, and you it does the same work as dry brushing, sloughing off dead skin. All right. You can also use essential oils in skin and hair care. And so this includes things like adding floral oils to your body butter. And so because I am and my sister are practically very big on DIY skincare. So we have whipped body butter, and we normally change up the oils that we put inside here. It not only provides a good smelling scent, but it also just, if you use oils that are regenerative to your skin, you're getting two benefits in one. You can make or you can choose your own perfume. So if you're trying to get away from synthetic fragrances, essential oils are a good option. And so I don't know if you can see that, but I have a bottle of rose here. So what I would do is I would dab a few drops on myself like so. So doTERRA has a really beautiful selection of floral essential oils in roller form: jasmine, magnolia, neroli. They even have rose, and they have this blend in particular that was formulated for women. It's called the Whisper Blend, and it has in it vanilla. It just has a whole beautiful mix of oils. And this is actually one of my very favorite ways to self-care. And this is self-care on the go, because you can quickly drop it into your handbag and you have it with you every day, and then you keep applying it as you go along. The other thing is to include essential oils in your hair routine. And this in particular, you can use things like rosemary and tea tree, and they're different options. So please be on the lookout, because myself and my dermatologist bestie, Dr. Norita, are going to actually do a whole workshop centered around using rosemary in your hair care and using tea tree in your skincare. And then you can also add essential oils to body scrub for a more luxurious feel. Of course, there's nothing wrong with using a plain old scrub, but if you add your favorite essential oil, it has the added benefit of uplifting your mood, right? Now, we also can use essential oils in sleep. Everybody has to sleep and everybody wants to relax. So one of the easiest things you can do is to incorporate something as simple as lavender in your evening bath, either in your shower. And I believe on my Instagram, I also did show how to use essential oils in the shower, where you put 2 drops away from the path of the water, and you allow the hot water and the steam action to really come up. You can also diffuse at least 1 hour before bed. And when you're diffusing, you want to choose oils that will help increase your serotonin levels. Serotonin is the hormone that induces sleep. And I will be doing another wellness class on sleep hygiene in the near future. So keep an eye out for that. But it has been scientifically proven that essential oils rich in linalool are good for increasing your serotonin levels. And these oils include things like lavender and magnolia. And then you know that the root oils are very grounding and calming. So I would do a mix of something like lavender and frankincense before bed to create a relaxing atmosphere. And then you can also use an easy bedtime mist to spray on your pillow before bed. So we've talked about how to use essential oils at home to create an at-home spa situation for yourself. We've talked about how to use essential oils in skin and hair care. We've talked about how to use essential oils in sleep and relaxation. These are things that you already are doing. You're already doing within your everyday. You have to sleep. You have to shower, you have to take care of your hair, you have to take care of your skin. So there are a couple of other ideas that you can use to already create self-care for yourself. So if you're somebody who does exercise, you can consider adding essential oils into your exercise routine. So oils like cypress, oils like peppermint, oils like doTERRA's brick are very useful in an exercise routine. One of the easiest things you can do, like when you're having a really hard time, when you're having a hard time and you want to focus, what I'm doing here is you create an aroma tint. So you take a drop of oil, for example, peppermint or lemon, put a drop, rub your hands together, and smell it. That is already a quick self-care hack that you can use, especially if you work in an office and afternoon imefika has reached and you're like, oh my God, I'm really exhausted and I can't focus. That's a quick way to rev up your self-care. We've talked about self-care on the go, where you have your favorite roll-out bottle. It's a scent you really enjoy, and you keep dabbing yourself as you go along. The other thing you can do is to journal. If you're somebody who really journals your thoughts, you can have a diffuser going in the background and you can journal with essential oils. And another self-care hack to do is to have your diffuser running, because diffusers help with shifting the mood of your space and your room. And then you can also create a cup of tea or so with essential oils. But again, I always say with using essential oils internally, number one, you have to trust a reputable brand. For me, that is doTERRA. Number two, if you don't know what you're doing with it, don't try it. But if you also watched last time wellness class, Ivy told us how she adds a drop of peppermint or kumquat in her morning coffee, which has also helped her reduce her sugar intake significantly. So that's another way of bringing self-care luxury into your everyday. So yeah, those are a couple of ideas that I have. Today's user guest was supposed to be Dr. Norita. She's our favorite dermatologist buddy. She wasn't able to be here, but she kind of sent in a video answering a few questions that I had for her. Let me just play the video again.
Hi everyone, today I'm talking about doTERRA Essential Oils, my favorite brand. First of all, Brie Orata, thank you for giving me this opportunity. You know how much essential oils are my fave, if used well, because they're also sensitizing to reactive skin. African skin is mostly reactive because it's naturally quite dry, so they should not be used on barriers that haven't been repaired as per my content. Now, I will go through the questions that Brie had suggested that I answer for this video. Self-care and why it is important to me. I believe that self-care is at the core of being, because we were born to be givers. Everything on our bodies suggests that we were born to nurture, from our breasts to our hips to everything within us. We were raised to give life in many ways. And if we do not give life to ourselves, then we will not give life to others well. And what are the essentials of self-care? Number one, you have to be good at taking care of your skin, hair, and nails. And that's why dermatology for me goes beyond just treating skin conditions, hair conditions, and nail conditions. It also goes into self-preservation, taking care of the things that you have been gifted by Mother Earth that make you beautiful, that make you attractive to other people. Making sure that you take care of them well is self-preservation. How do I use essential oils? So I've been using essential oils ever since I met Brie Orata, and I actually plan to use them for the rest of my life. Number one, for me, they give me serenity because I am really into fragrance. I am naturally addicted to sweet smelling fragrances, fresh smelling fragrances. I love scents. I also scent myself quite a bit. I'm also attracted to people who love luxurious scents. What I love about doTERRA is that the scents are luxurious. I am naturally just attracted to luxury. I am born Luo, so what do you expect? I love doTERRA because the oils are quality. They do not irritate my skin as much if I have not used them incorrectly, because they are created with quality ingredients. But of course, I also use them well, and Brie and I will be shooting some videos on some favorites of mine and how to use them correctly. So for me, I usually scent myself. Like, she gives me a roll-on that I apply before I sleep. After I shower, I usually put it in my night skincare routine pack. I also use essential oils to scent my hairs, my wigs, and all that whenever I remember to, whenever I can. If I'm I'm wearing braids. So I usually sit on the diffuser and then I let my hair take up the scent. I also use them to scent my bedroom before I sleep because I love the serenity that they give the room. Sometimes scents can actually evoke an emotional response. So if you're going through a lot, because I live quite a high stress lifestyle, I like to use scents to evoke powerful, relaxing emotions. So that is why I scent my room before I sleep. I also used to use essential oils to scent my living room. Just that I realized that the diffuser that I got from Brie is a bit small. I probably need to buy a much bigger diffuser for my living room. So the smell will definitely be wafted away by the wind. But I also use essential oils in my wardrobe to scent my clothes. So I usually put my diffuser just next to my wardrobe. I open up my wardrobe so that the scent can go there. I mean, there's so many uses of essential oils. And if you watch Bree's content that she usually chants out regularly, you will get to learn how to use essential oils yourself. So wellness hacks. For me, number one, center. Get to your center. Understand the kind of person you are. Understand the things that make you relax. I'm all about relaxation. I'm all about self-preservation. So center yourself towards doing the things that you love. So for example, for me, one thing I've made sure self-care has done for me, one thing I've made to self-care for myself is to be involved in a career I'm passionate about and that I love. So by nature, I only do things that I like. So I knew from when I was 18 that I loved beauty, makeup, and all that. So naturally, I became a doctor who just deals with that. Not that dermatology is cosmetic, really. It's actually quite medical, but I really enjoy this other side of it that is all about beauty. And you can tell from my content that I'm invested in that heavily. Do more of the things you love. So for example, be around people who do more of the things you love. Brie and I have been friends for a long time because she does what she loves, and what she loves is also what I love. So she's all about self-care and self-preservation. So being around people who love doing the things I love has also been helpful to me as far as self-care is concerned. Also, turn your passion into a money-making agenda. Do not be so invested in the things you love without considering that they can actually give you financial wellness. So that's another self-care hack I'd give women. Find out what you love and turn it into a money-making ability. Turning into something that can give you some earnings. Then number 4, also do whatever it takes to have everything you need to take care of yourself. So if you know that having essential oils costs this much, because I usually buy my essential oils in bulk from her, then set aside that money. Many of you go out to buy clothes, drink, hang out with friends, do really extravagant things, yet you can sometimes use some of that money to spend inwards, like buy things that just make you happy, change your environment, create a good mood. So one of the things that I do actually is I usually have a budget. Like I already know what it takes to maintain my self-care, maintain my wellness, maintain my emotional wellness, because I find the scents that doTERRA have are really, really good for my emotional wellness. Whenever I enter a room where I diffuse the smell, I feel so relaxed. I feel so good after a long, hard day. So of course, definitely almost every 3 months, I usually know the budget that I'm going to be put into that care. So I save. I'm not very good at saving. What I actually do is I will always be living on a loan. I'm a millennial. So if I know that it costs this much, then I will take out money out of something I don't really need in the near future, spend it on my essential oils, and then I can work for that money later. I won't lie, I don't save. I actually don't see myself ever saving because I like spending on the things I love as soon as I get the money. And YOLO, you only live once. You may not be alive tomorrow, but by the grace of God, you will. And if you will be alive tomorrow, God will give you money for tomorrow, but spend for today as much as you can, make yourself comfortable. Now, what are the differences between when I started using essential oils and now? I think I understand better. Before, I used to think they were just for using diffusers. So I will put it in a very small diffuser in my living room next to a very windy door So of course the smells will be wafted out. So I wasted a lot of money. But I realized that essential oils are better used in an enclosed space. Fine, you can have a bit of aeration before you switch on the diffuser, but preferably don't put them near a window or a door. So of course I do that differently. Then number two, I don't leave the diffuser running the whole day. I used to leave the diffuser running the whole day facing the window, which was definitely a waste. Nowadays I just leave the diffuser running a few minutes before I go to bed. The other thing is I didn't know that I can use them to scent my wardrobe or scent my hairs. So I do that differently, of course. And then the other thing is I use more of roll-ons, like after I shower before I sleep, because I love the smell, the really relaxing and soothing. And trust me, if we curates for you a regimen for relaxation, you will definitely feel relaxed, because she usually curates the oils. Like, you tell her where you're in mentally, the space you're in mentally, the space you're in with your moods, and then she curates something that goes with that. But not only are essential oils good for the mood, mental, but they're also good for the skin. So for example, tea tree oil and rosemary oil, which she and I will sit down and probably shoot something about, have some uses in skincare, some really, really good uses, and we will teach you how to use them. So for me, whenever I am having my regimens curated by Brie, they're always centered about rosemary or around rosemary oil, because I am working on the volume of my hair, and rosemary oil scientifically has been found to stimulate hair growth. So we'll always start with rosemary oil, and then I tell her where the space I'm at mentally, and then she gives me a combination of things that go with that space. And depending on my budget, I usually make sure I have at least 20K, okay? Because essential oils are also luxurious products. doTERRA essential oils are luxurious. They're not like your everyday essential oils that you find in some store. They are the most luxurious brand of oils. So you need to have a really good budget. So depending on my budget, then I pick what I need, and then she delivers to me on time. Like, it may take even a space of a month or 2 months, but she makes sure that you get your package in good order. She is really methodical about how she does things, and she really puts her heart even into the packaging. Like, you can see how much thought, she's very thoughtful, so you can see how much thought she puts behind the packaging and all. I actually love getting my stuff from Brie. I can't get essential oils from anybody else, for sure. She is value for money. Then what is the cost benefit analysis? I will say, for me, I've always been so keen on spending on things that give me an internal shift, because I work really stressful jobs, really long hours. I'm constantly overstimulated by people, because I'm constantly talking to people, answering their questions. So I usually will want something that cools me down at the end of the day and helps me sleep, because for me, scents help me sleep. I can't sleep in a room that's not well aerated, that's not dark, that doesn't smell nice. So for me, scents are powerful. I also love scents in my shower. So sometimes a while back, I was showing people how to put some essential oils in their shower gels, but that needs some care, because if your skin barrier is irritated and reactive, that's going to be a problem. But I love scents in the shower, so sometimes I would actually put that in my shower gel so that I can have that smell before I go to sleep. So for me, the cost benefit analysis, I mean, value for money. If you are a person who's very centered and you like making sure that you are you have meditated, so to speak, are calm and relaxed. Before I'm naturally a giver, I'm naturally a nurturer, so I have to nurture myself. So if you are a nurturer and you love nurturing yourself, you will definitely love this aspect of self-care that involves smell. I think when we think about self-care, we always think about things you need to do for yourself. But I think with essential oils, you're not doing anything. You're just sitting, relaxing, and just taking everything in, taking your environment in and everything. So mentally, they put me in a good space. As soon as my batch finishes, I've always made an order with her. I tell her where I'm in, we do a consultation, and she curates oils for me, and I buy them with no question, because I know she's got it right. And as soon as I put those blends together in my diffuser, I'm good. And even just diffusing myself and my hair, and I have gotten compliments from people before that I smell nice, because I do use these things to also fragrance myself and my clothes. So it puts you in a good space when you're smelling nice and your environment is smelling nice. So cost it's definitely worth it, and that's why for me, I'm a lifelong subscriber to her products. How do we do a consult? You just reach out to her on her phone number, which she's going to probably give you this video. And then you tell her what space you're in or what you want. Do you want the oils for hair? Are you acne prone and you're hoping to do tea tree in some of your regimens? Or you're really having a mental shift? Like, I've had enough mental shifts lately. And for every mental shift, she's been there with me and curating oils for me to help me relax and put in my diffuser in my environment. So she doesn't charge for the consultation, really. She may change that, but she puts together a beautiful blend of oils and allows you to be flexible and tell her if it's working for you or not. And she actually does fit into your budget. She doesn't put a gun into your head. She will make sure you have everything you need as per the budget you have. So don't feel scared to reach out to her, and love yourselves. Buy yourselves luxury things, and that includes essential oils. Bye.
So that was Dr. Norita. She's been with me since we started. I think this was way back in 2017 when we first did essential oil workshops together, and we have grown. I have watched her grow and she has watched me grow, and the one thing that has kept us here is we have a partnership that works for both of us. And Dr. Norita and I were actually in high school, and we've been friends all along. So I hope by listening to her experience with doTERRA essential oils, you've gotten some new ideas and you've gotten some new insight around self-care with essential oils and why it actually is like a treat to yourself and nurturing yourself on that front. I have put together here a list of my favorite self-care essential oils. So the thing about doTERRA oils is like there are over, I think, about 100 oils, and you need to have a place that you can start from. So my top 3 favorite self-care oils that every person should have is lavender, the balance blend, and eucalyptus. No home should be without eucalyptus because eucalyptus is an all-round wellness oil. So you diffuse eucalyptus because it also has all these beautiful properties that can help cleanse the air, neutralize odors, but in the same way, you know how people take eucalyptus steam baths? So you take a bunch of eucalyptus leaves and you take it in your shower, and in the morning when people are feeling stuffy, for example, you have that in the shower and it just helps really open you up. So for me, one of the oils that I'm never without is eucalyptus. The other oil I'm never without is lavender, and lavender is actually a jack of all trades, or a Jill of all trades in this case. Lavender is the ultimate self-care oil in my opinion. And so you can use it in skincare, you can use it in hair care, you can use it in sleeping, you can diffuse it, although it's better suited for evening time and relaxation as opposed to morning. Morning only if you're using it in your skincare. So you don't want to diffuse lavender first thing in the morning when you're at work, because you're going to be so relaxed and so calm that you probably find yourself falling asleep. And then there is the balance blend. Now, I have not met anybody who doesn't like the balance blend. And balance is just that. It's a combination of oils that doTERRA have come up with that is just very grounding and very calming, but at the same time very uplifting. So this is a good oil to use in the morning or in the evening. It's an all-round blend to have. And so if you want your lavender oil from me, a 15 ml bottle, which would look something like so, would cost you 4,454 shillings. The balance blend and eucalyptus would each cost you 3,668. So you can choose to take one of the oils from this bundle, or you can choose to get the bundle in totality. So if you do opt to buy the blend in totality, you will get free delivery if you're within Nairobi and its environs. Nairobi and the surrounding areas, and you will also get all 3 at a discounted rate of 11,500 shillings. So if you're buying your oils from me, as Fabian has noted, one of the things that I do with you is I listen to where you are, and I'm able to just having listened to you, curate for you a blend of oils to support you where you are. And then we can choose. I can give you a list, and then you can try and say if this is the ones you choose or not. The other thing to note is, though, because I have to bring doTERRA oils in from the US, I have to do it within a certain order. So I make my orders within the first 10 days of the month. If you miss this month's order window, you have to come back and order the next month. And so delivery charges will depend on where you are, and it normally takes about 3 to 4 weeks, depending on what's going on, for the oils to get here. However, they're very beautiful, luxurious products, as Phoebe have said, and they're very helpful in just helping you nurture and take care of yourself. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about is I have said that I'm going to be teaching wellness classes every first Saturday of the month from 11 a.m. to around 12, 12:10 or 12:20 depending. And next month's topic is actually everyday aromatherapy, creating intentional wellness routine. So the first class I had was building wellness habits with essential oils for 2023 and beyond, which was ground zero. And then today we have covered self-care. Next month, we're going to be talking about everyday aromatherapy. That's on the 1st of April. I'm going to send and put up the information as we go along. However, if you don't manage to catch me live, the replay will be up on YouTube at Briorata or on Facebook at Wellness with Bri. So you can catch up. And I'd encourage you to just stick through the classes because I'm going in order. Like I'm building on every class that I teach, will be building on the last one. And I've got some really exciting classes planned for this year, which I can't wait to share with you. And I've got some amazing guests coming on, people who have also used doTERRA essential oils for themselves. Okay, I think that's about it. And as I leave my contact information up, if you have any feedback for me, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you'd like to share, feel free to use the chat. Has this been useful? Has this been good? Has this been helpful to you? Please share with your friends. Anybody who's looking to learn about essential oils, who's curious, who wants to understand the place of essential oils in wellness, feel free to share these links and these classes with them. We can call it a class. It's been fun. I really had a fun time putting this class together. I hope it has been useful. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Anybody who'll be watching on the replay, please feel free to leave your comments. If there are classes that you'd like me to address, or if there are issues that you'd like me to address, also leave me a comment, send me a message, and I'd be happy to kind of address that.